And then do you mind just quickly introducing yourself to Alba so she knows who you are and where you're from? Elle, do you want to start?
Hi, I'm Al. I'm writing with DREISER and I'm based in London.
Hello.
Hi, I'm MARC HAIRAPETIAN, founder and editor of my own film and music magazine, Spirit, A Smile in the Storm, since my 16th living year, and working also as freelancer for many dailies and magazines.
Thank you.
Hi, Alba. I'm Ali. I'm from Popcorn Hub in London.
Hello.
Right, great. Thanks, everybody. Okay, I'm going to go off video now and you'll have 16 minutes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thanks, Danny.
So can I ask first? It's okay? So Alba, first I want to say you look great, and congratulations to the award. Now you're a shooting star. But my first question is, what did you worked also for this Netflix Warrior Nun? And in the leading part, of course, you are the leading actress. So was it a special experience for you because you were based from Portugal? And maybe this was the first time you worked with such a big company together.
Yeah, it definitely was. During the audition process, this was the first self-tape that I had done. So I wasn't quite sure what a self-tape was at the time. But I had two friends that helped me guide through it. And when I read the information on the email, I thought, well, I'm surely not going to get this role because it's for the lead in an American Netflix show. So and I'm Portuguese, so that would never work. But I was shocked to find out that I got the role, and further on, just shooting was so special because it was the most responsibility that I had ever had on set, of course. And I was told specifically by the Netflix executives that during this first week, actually, if I didn't exceed the expectations that they had, they would still be on time to recast me during that first week. So that was a lot of pressure. But I grew from that as well because I took that challenge and I thought to myself, okay, well, if this is the level of pressure that they're putting on me, I will grow and I will and I will be better. And so that's what I learned about myself, about my abilities to actually adapt and to move fast and to be a leader to a show that I had to take on my shoulders, because if my acting would fail, I think the entire show would fail. So so that was a special experience for me of growth.
Thank you.
Can I hop in on that? The showrunner said recently in an interview that they really wanted you to kind of participate in the story and kind of in the role. They really kind of wanted you to have that authority. Did you feel like you kind of got to help build that narrative around the character, and is that something you want to carry?
Ava, I'll just jump in and ask a question. Alba, sorry, I wanted to ask you a question about Ava. Sorry, I got distracted. I thought you were Ava for a second. About Ava's development, I wanted to. Oh, actually, she's back. I'll let her ask her question.
Okay.
Sorry, bad internet. Did you catch any of that?
Could you repeat it, please? Sorry.
Of course, of course. The showrunner said they really wanted you to kind of get to participate in kind of building the character and being part of the narrative and kind of developing the role kind of like beyond just the script. Is that something you felt you got to do much, or is something you want to do a bit more in season 2 or into your other roles?
Absolutely. Well, the thing is, as soon as I got this role, I put to myself a thought that I will choose to be as involved as possible in all of the departments. And so I got in 1 month earlier, and I was just part of production and everything, and photography, and my creative freedom was off the charts. I mean, they truly put their trust in me, and especially in that first episode where you're building the arc for the character and to introduce her, they gave me a lot of improvisation. I could do a lot of inputs on the script, and I was just and I learned so much about photography and directing. I was always shadowing the director or the DOP because I'm fascinated by behind the camera work. So I had never had a work where they would just give me all of this freedom, and they would trust that I would do a good job, and they did, and I'm so grateful.
That's fantastic.
Alba, I'd like to jump in and just take over from there. With Ava's development, I wanted to know whether you and Simon Barry ever had the chance to meet the original creator, Ben Dunn, who created the comic, and how you, and just elaborate more on how you, through improvisation, you meted out the character. So you gave them like a full, like you know, you gave her like a full character, a full storyline, a full background.
Mm-hmm.
And to add on to that, I wanted to know whether with Ava's development, with the stories that you read, because she's like a warrior nun, and the story is connected to Catholicism and religion. Like, did that have any? Did you use any of those influences within the story? And like, how did you try and not avoid, not upsetting someone who's Catholic or who's religious and sees it as, oh, why are you taking it into a comic sort of thing?
Well, first of all, yes, we did get the chance to meet Ben Dunn. He appeared, if I'm not mistaken, during the first week on set, which was fantastic, I think. And he, he pulled me aside, and he shared such kind words. He said that I was the warrior nun that he had always dreamed of, and then he made a caricature of mine on set, which is so lovely and unforgettable. And those words will always stick with me, I think. And regarding the second question, yes, I was trying to be careful with it, because Ava, the written Ava in the script has quite a vocabulary, and so in some scenes I tried to minimize the offense regarding Catholicism, because I think it's a sensitive subject, of course, but it's not to be taken. It is to be taken lightly, actually, because it's coming from a mentality of a young woman who has a mentality of a child. So I defended on that, and that's also where I had my improvisation impulses during that first episode, and second and third, and all of them, to just go with your first instinct and not think of the consequences, which was very liberating.
Thanks.
Alba, last year I did at the Berlinale a real face-to-face 4K video interview with a colleague of you, Joana Ribeiro from Portugal. Do you know her? And maybe you worked once with her, I do not know, or will work with her together. And second question, talking about the COVID-19 situation, how do you deal with it as an actress?
Well, yes, I know Joana Ribeiro. She's my best friend, actually, so I know her very, very well.
Greetings to her from me. She will remember me on Instagram. Sometimes she writes to me.
Nice. I will let her know.
Yeah.
I mean, she's my reference. I admire her so much as a person and as an actress, and following her this year is just an absolute honor, because she is absolutely magnetic and so unique. So it's fantastic to have this bond with her now, also professionally. We've never worked before, but we definitely want to. We're projecting that. We're making that happen because it's a dream of ours. And I mean, for me to work with her will be cathartic, I hope. And for the second question, I think we have to adapt. We're animals of habit, and we are adaptable, of course. When I was shooting in Budapest for Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, we were tested every day with the PCR test, which is a luxury. So it was the safest I had ever felt, really, on set. And I hope that this will be an adapting way of working in the future. Hopefully not for too long, but it doesn't side away from the fact that we're still able to make art and to generate feelings and emotions and share that with the world. So that's something to be grateful for.
And Alba, I mean, congratulations with the Shooting Stars. I mean, what are you most looking forward to kind of working with your current cohort? Like, are you looking forward to kind of sharing all the projects you're working on, kind of learning from them? And yeah, how exciting are you finding it in a kind of strange COVID, having to do it this way this year?
Well, it's unfortunate, but it's still quite fantastic to be able to meet these incredible artists that are so interesting. We've been sharing our links with our movies and series, so it's been fantastic to see that. And I'm most looking forward to just meeting them in person and hugging them, because this is such an achievement for all of us, and we all feel like we're imposters in this year's selection. So it's quite it's quite amazing to have this sensation of unity and camaraderie. So and hopefully working with one of them would just be fantastic, but with all of them that would be amazing.
Alba, I'd like to go on and ask regarding what you mentioned about when you was on set, you had the chance to sort of learn about directing and, shadowing directing and photography and a lot more. And I wanted to just get your opinion and see if that's something you like to branch out into the future.
Yes, definitely. I'm captivated by this entire process and concept of creating a story and giving it light and layers. I'm currently understanding what it is to write. I'm far from knowing it, but I'm experimenting, and I would love to start out with a short movie just to understand what it's like to lead a team as a director. And what, yeah,
what stories would you like to tell?
Well, obviously stories of which I can connect to, maybe parallel to my own private life. I think that's the most honest way to start off. If you like to tell a story, you can't start off telling something you have absolutely no notion about, I think. So that's where I'm going. I'm just rambling on memories and just scenarios that I dream of, and I don't know.
Alba, I have a poll in my Spirit to Smile in the Storm magazine where I asked actors, directors, and other human beings about their favorite films of their life. So can you name me now, as a little brainstorming, 3 of your all-time favorite films and give a reason why, please?
Yes. Well, I remember watching A Streetcar Named Desire when I was 13, and I was, well, first of all, I was in love with Marlon Brando, of course, but but just the performance of the actress, of the main actress, was so. It was a big revelation for me to see how expositional she was and how intimate she showed herself in front of the camera, and I was captivated by this truth of her and her layers, and I rewatched that movie. Like I like to do this thing where I rewatch a movie every 2 years, and I always have a different perspective on it. It's like the Pan's Labyrinth. When I was a child, I watched it from Guillermo del Toro. I remember thinking it was such a beautiful fairy tale, and then I rewatched it when I was 15, and I thought, oh, this is a disaster. This movie is so tragic. But I love that. I love that perceptions change with the years, and I mean, I think the most recent film that really caught my eye was Victoria from Sebastian Schipper.
Wow.
That I just cried so much, and the constant feeling of anxiety that this film brings you is so amazing. It's incredibly difficult to perform this and to direct this, and so the fact that they were able to do it in such a raw way is wow, is mesmerizing, and that would be a dream role, of course, and I absolutely loved it. And then I also love, I suppose, The Tree of Life or Badlands, Terrence Malick.
Yes, me too.
Well, it's a completely different feeling, but it's so dense with emotions, and you can just cry off of the aesthetic of the movies of Malick, and so I love that you can create emotion with just a single camera move or just a single shot of an eye or a mouth or whatever, and details, attention to detail is important.
Great that you named a streetcar named Desire. You do not know, but when I was in the beginning of my 20s, I had the honor to do an interview with Elia Kazan. Yeah, because he was also of Armenian descent, like me. I'm half Armenian, half German, and he has also Armenian roots. And I was the only one at the International Film Festival who did a single face-to-face interview with him, recorded all, made pictures. It was really wonderful, and we were still, until he died, in email contact. So,
Oh
wow.
my gosh.
Great.
Out to you, not to me, to you.
Yeah.
My final question is, obviously you're currently working on the adaptation of Paul Gallico's novel at the moment. How has it been, like, what have you learned the most from kind of working on a film that's kind of already a novel? Is it something you've always wanted to do? Kind of what are the biggest takeaways from it, and are you enjoying it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's such an honor to have to do an adaptation of a novel that's been on my bucket list for a while. And so it's fantastic to read the description of character and then what they transform it as a script and then what I transform it as a character. And I mean, it's just an honor to work alongside Leslie Manville and Isabelle Huppert. And just observing these legends on set is all a learning process. And I mean, the entire set of the show is glamorous 50s and original Dior dresses. So it's so unique, and it's like the dream of every little girl, I think, to put those dresses on and to pretend to be a model of the 50s. But so it's been great fun to play dolls.
Thank you.
Alba, just a really quick question, if it's okay, Jenny. Back to Warrior Nun. If you had the ability, if you had a superpower, what superpower would you like to have?
I guess teletransportation would be nice, or yeah, I don't know, maybe being able to meditate for like hours and enter that nirvana of of enlightenment. That would be nice.
Alba, when you think about writing, can you also imagine to be a director in the future?
Yes, very much so. I'm always so moved to I mean, I've been fortunate enough to have worked with so many different Portuguese directors that have a very unique process. And so for me, it's always been interesting to study them as well while they're studying us and the characters, because the way of leading an actor into a scene is so special. And with time, I'm figuring out what I can relate to the most with me as an actress, and I would love to discover what it is for me as a director, having the sensibility as an actor as well. So I want to explore that. Yes.
Thank you.
All the best to you.
Thanks for talking to us, Alba.
Likewise.
Greetings to Joanna.
I will.